Alright guys, welcome back, finally, to another episode of Lone Wolf, the Masters of Darkness. And with me is Karzie on our long journey ahead.
I am here. I exist. Hello.
Yeah, in real world time, it's been many months since we last recorded the first part of this book. So we had to refresh ourselves quickly.
Many moons.
But let's just recap ourselves for the audience. We have a mission to kill Nog. We can't use the Summer Sword when we get to the Darklands. We're on a secret mission. No one knows that we're going there. And a Kraken thing has destroyed our ship. So we're only sailing with a skeleton crew. And the ship is mostly battered. And right now we've got an enemy off the starboard bow. So I'm going to begin on page 100.
Don't forget, we gotta should we unequip the Summer Sword now or later?
When we get off the boat, once we reach the Darklands.
Okay.
So we can still use it for now. They'll tell us when we get there. So, almost invisible against the horizon of black cliffs and cloudy grey skies are two enemy warships anchored a few hundred yards offshore. At first they look deserted. Then the sudden clang of alarm bells and the appearance of huge clouds of yellow smoke from their funnels indicate they are manned, and they intend to give chase. "Our only chance is to outrun them," says Devan, his eyes narrowing as he surveys the ironclads hauling their anchors and turning about. At his command, the crew spring into action, breaking their backs to coax every last knot of speed from their battered ship. But the winds are against them, and the enemy, not reliant on sails for their propulsion, are soon closing the gap. "Prepare to repel boarders!" shouts Devan, as an ironclad draws alongside. Hastily, they abandon their attempt to outrun the enemy, and draw weapons in readiness to receive a unit of leather-clad Drakarr marines, who are poised to spring aboard the very moment the two vessels collide. Then, with a resounding crash, the ironclad smashes into the side of the Intrepid, and the enemy comes scrambling over the rail, screaming and howling like a pack of demons. Oh, we've got these serrated black swords here. Which,
they look kind of cool. They even got the can opener section at the end.
Yeah, I mean they look more useful as cutting bread, but could be deadly.
Yeah, I mean if you want to saw something off, I mean.
If you want to cut down a tree, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, if you're up against Groot, this is great.
But one of their number singles you out. He strides forward, his black blade swinging viciously as he attempts to cleave your skull in two. Owing to the speed of his attack, you are unable to make use of a bow. You can evade combat at any time, but I think we gotta fight. Let's do this.
Oh yeah, come on. We one-shot everything. This is a common.
Come on,
Look
keep
at
adding.
that.
Lord Circle, Summer Sword, Silver Helmet, Chain
it feels so
Shield,
good. Oh, the
Paddle
50
Waistcoat,
break!
Silver Braces, Silver Braces.
Oh, that felt good.
Whack! 16 damage. And again.
Oh, it doesn't do the build-up anymore.
No. Only the first one.
Yeah.
And he's down. Win the combat.
After that, the foreplay is done. The book is just like, no, you had your moments.
Well, we're not going to get that huge bonus later on, so let's make the most of it.
Okay. 248. You leap over the body of your slain enemy and rush to help Devan, who is being driven back across the deck by three snarling Drakarr. Oh. Boss, I'm alarmed! You cry as you launch your attack, felling two of his adversaries with a single sweeping blow. Deftly, he puts paid to the third, and together you advance towards the stern where the enemy are attempting to capture the helm. Already, several of the crew lie bleeding on the deck, and although they fight bravely, they are no match for the vicious Drakarrian marines. At the foot of the makeshift stairs that ascend into the stern deck, you are confronted by the leader of the enemy assault team. Okagazagor! He growls. His evil eyes, they're very evil.
Yeah.
You get this evil feeling from him. His evil eyes glinting through the slits in his studded leather battle mask. Jack, okay, Okatlock, Nogja, Ash, Gajol, okay, Okak, Adez! With that, he lifts his redded axe and strides forward to meet your advance.
All right.
You can evade your combat after the first 2 rounds, but if you win it, you get to turn to another page.
Fight. Here we go again. Weapon skill, weapon mastery, dual wield, law circle,
build it up.
Sword, silver helm,
More,
champion, shield, padded leather, silver braces, more silver braces.
Oh, a 5. That was a 5 at the end
That's
of
a bit
all
of a
that
letdown.
hype.
Come on, we gotta chop his head off. Yeah, that's more like it. Insta kill.
Yeah.
The sergeant crashes lifelessly to the deck, and, for a few moments, the troops that were fighting by his side stared down at his body in shocked disbelief. For 6 years he had led them to glory, his battle skills and cunning ensuring their survival, and now he lies dead, killed by a Somlending. Taking advantage of their stunned state, you cleave a path up the staircase and force your way towards the helm. You are within 10 feet of the ship's wheel when Devon screams a warning. "Archer above you!" You glance up into the rigging and a cold spike of fear stabs your heart when you glimpse the gloating face of a Drakarr Marine. With one hand he holds a bow, and with the other he draws back an arrow to his chin. He mouths a curse and lets fly the deadly shaft. Pick a number from the random number table.
If you have the curse, fuck you.
I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker. Alright, if you've got the Mandakai discipline of Hunt Mastery, add 2 to the number, and if you have completed Law Circle of Spirit, add 3 to the number. We should be good. Yeah! 8 or more.
Yeah, 321. You twist aside and the arrow thuds harmlessly into the deck. The archer bares his teeth as he reaches for another arrow, but before he can fire again, his arm is spoiled by 2 of his comrades, who rush forward to hack at you with axe and sword. Devon protects your back, holding off the Marines who are attempting to climb the stairs. You evade the first blows of your enemies, sidestepping a lunge and ducking a wild swipe, and then strike back with deadly speed and unerring accuracy. Both scream and fall simultaneously, dying with a look of surprise fixed on their cruel faces. All around me are cruel faces.
With a swift and graceful movement, you snatch a dagger from the belt of one of your dead foes, spin on your heel, and fling it at the archer above before he has the chance to fire a third arrow. It sinks hilt deep into his chest, sending him tumbling backwards into the waters of the Calta Sea. With the stern deck now cleared of the enemy, you grab the helm and attempt to steer the ship away from the ironclad. The second enemy vessel is closing fast, and you fear that the Intrepid will be smashed to driftwood if caught between the two. Pick a number from the random number table. For every Magnakai discipline you possess above your initial 3 skills, add 1 to the number you've picked. For example, if you have 5, add 2. I think we're good. What?
Oh,
Motherfucker.
oh.
That's not the times we're rolling a 0. Alright, let's check it.
Alright. You spin the ship's wheel to starboard and pray for the wind to fill her sails and carry her clear of the first enemy vessel. Anxiously, you glance at the second ironclad, steaming directly towards the stern with unnerving speed. Its deck crammed with more troops poised to leap aboard. At first, the Intrepid responds to the rudder, and you feel her swing about, but the escape is short-lived. The Drakarr have secured her with hooks and ropes, and she cannot break free. With a shuddering crash, the ironclad rams in the side, knocking everyone off their feet. You are set reeling across the deck as the enemy craft plows deep into the hull, demolishing the steerage and carrying away a large section of the stern. Icy waters thunders into the hold, and immediately the ship begins to founder. Darg Ash Razar! Bellows the enemy as they climb towards the deck, jostling and bullying each other in their eagerness to begin battle. Their leader, a bull-necked brute armed with a dirk and a scimitar. It is the first to appear at the rail. He pulls himself onto the deck and comes rushing forward, his eyes wide with blood frenzy as he prepares to strike you down. If you have a bow, you want to use that shit, shoot the motherfucker! If you possess a summer sword and wish to bling him out, use that motherfucker. If you chose to draw a hand weapon and ready yourself to receive his attack, then we're not picking that probably, because we always go with the bow.
Yep, you know it. Bow, bow. Right, you draw an arrow and take aim at the Drakarr leader's chest. He laughs contemptuously at your bow, as if it were no more dangerous than a child's toy. Then he draws back his blade and takes aim at your neck. If you possess the Magna Chi discipline of divination, and have reached the Chi rank of tutelary or more, turn to 163. If you have not, then you're fucked. 163.
Your senses alert you to the magical chainmail armor that the Drakarr warrior is wearing beneath his leather battle jacket. He can see that you're aiming your arrow at his heart, and he is confident his armor will protect him. If you wish to switch targets and aim instead at his head, turn to 119. If you choose to shoulder your bow and meet his attack with a hand weapon, turn to page 213. I say shoot the head.
Yep, 119. A look of horror washes over the Drakarr's face when he sees you raise your bow and let loose your arrow at his head. Your shaft penetrates his forehead, and the force of the shot lifts him clear of the deck and knocks him flat on his back. Just then, the first of his troops appear at the rail. For a moment they hesitate when they see their officer dead, but their shock soon turns to fury. "Shares dot got!" they scream, and come thundering towards you with murder blazing in their eyes. If you wish to evade their attack...
you can't say that.
What? Shares dot got?
Oh, that taught word. It's so close to thought. Oh, you can't say that anymore.
Sure you can.
I don't know.
Alright.
It was a bad joke. Let's move on.
Alright, if you wish to evade their attack and Karzie's joke, turn to 274. Or if you choose to stand your ground and receive their attack, turn to 347. What do you reckon?
What have we ever ran away? Have we ever really ran away?
Yes, there was an instance where we did.
Oh, we probably just weren't feeling it then.
Yeah.
I don't know. You usually are like, hey, let's just fight him, and I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's just fight him.
Sure. That's fine.
And usually that's the extent of our conversations, our decision making.
Can't argue with that logic.
All right. You draw a hand weapon just in time to meet your enemy's attack. They swarm around you, howling with primal fury, their teeth bared and their faces contorted by hatred as they raise their swords to cut you down. This might actually take 3 hits because it's 40 endurance.
Yes, because we're fighting multiple at once, but we're treating them as a single enemy that will probably just hack all their heads off in one go.
Oh, if we insta-kill them, we just do like a whirlwind, like
that's what I'm imagining, like we're doing a link
flourish.
Never get the cool finisher. Not until later.
I mean, we do sometimes.
Oh, this is going to be a standard combat. Have to whittle them down bit by bit. And we'll probably finish them off now.
Yeah.
Not with a 2.
Oh.
Actually, no, 2.
Alright, let's
Just
see.
about.
Is that a kill?
Yeah.
That's just enough, and we took 4 damage.
Yeah, we'll heal up 2 of them immediately. If you win the combat, 28.
I think this is you.
Oh, did I not read the last one? Okay. The Drakarrim lie entangled at your feet. Their heaped bodies a grim testimony to the deadly art of a Kai Lord in battle. You step back from your lifeless foes, grabbing the ship's rail as the deck lists heavily to its starboard. The Intrepid is sinking fast. "Abandon ship!" cries Devan, his voice carrying above the clangor of striking swords and dying men. As he rushes past you, followed closely by 2 blood-spattered Kurlandins, he urges you to save yourself before the ship goes down. If you wish to follow Devan and abandon ship, turn to 110. If you decide to search the bodies of your dead enemies first, turn to 317. Okay, I'm going to save here because I want to search him, but if he kills me, I want to...
That's like, we could continue with the story, but loot. Just listen to me.
Look, man, we got loot.
Loot.
You have to loot. If there's any chance to loot, you must.
Alright. Oh, wow. We find a bunch of random. All right. Quickly, you search the bodies of the Drakarrim. You discover the following items, which could be of use to you during your mission. You want 3 swords, 2 axes, 2 daggers, a bow, 4 arrows, which we'll probably get. Rope, pouch of herbs. Interesting.
All right, I'll drop a meal for the pouch of herbs. Let's eat it right now.
Yeah.
And the pouch of herbs in the backpack.
While
Ooh.
searching the officer's body, you discover that he is wearing a vest of chainmail beneath his leather battle jacket. It is forged from links of a strange blue-black metal that gives off a strong aura of magic. If you wish to take this magical chainmail vest, turn to page 63. If you choose not to take the vest, go to 188.
What do you think I'm gonna pick?
Do you want more arrows before we loot this magical chain vest?
Yeah, I took one already. No more room.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're looting.
Vest. The chainmail vest is crafted from a metallic mineral called kagonite. It is as light as wood, yet 10 times harder than steel. The Dark Lords use an alloy of kagonite in the manufacture of weapons used by their troops, and it is this alloy which gives the blades of their weapons their black appearance. Wearing this kagonite chainmail beneath your tunic will increase your combat skill by 3 points and your endurance by 1 point. Because it is so light, it can be worn beneath any padded or metallic body armor you may possess. Haha, yes! That's what I'm talking about.
More numbers, I like.
Now we're at 58 and 33. Jesus Christ, we are gonna kick ass. We're gonna kick ass already.
Alright, 188. Your curiosity is aroused by the pouch of herbs you have discovered in the belt pouch of the dead Drakarr officer. If you have the Magkai discipline of curing or have reached the Kai rank of Principalian or higher, turn to page 145, which we do.
At once you recognize the pungent aroma of Adgana leaves. Adgana is a powerful narcotic that increases strength and sharpens reflexes. It enhances fighting prowess when swallowed immediately prior to combat. There is insufficient Adgana in this patch for 1 dose, which would be enough to increase your combat skill by 6 points for the duration of a fight. Sorry, there is sufficient Adgana. The patch of herbs now appears as Adgana. Oh, okay, so it's been renamed to Dose of Adgana.
Okay.
But be warned, Adgana is shunned by most warriors and its use is outlawed in Sommerland because it is highly addictive. If you choose to keep and use this dose of Adgana prior to combat, there is a chance that you could become addicted. As soon as combat is resolved, you must pick a number from the random number table. If the number you pick is 0 or 1, you have become addicted and your endurance score must be reduced by 4 points immediately. If you have ever used Adgana in a previous Lone Wolf adventure, the risks of addiction are doubled should you decide to use this dose. So you'll become addicted if you pick a 0, 1, 2 or 3. Also, the effects of the narcotic when used on a second or subsequent occasion are halved. You will be able to add only 3 points instead of 6. If you decide to keep this dose of Adgana, note the hazardous side effects of its use in the margin of your action chart. Sure that you have not overlooked any other items that could aid your perilous mission, you decide the time has come to leave. And if you were to lose the endurance points, it's permanent.
Yeah, I don't like that word. I don't like that permanent lose.
So
when they're together, it's
well, I reckon I'm going to save it.
Makes me think of no.
Yeah,
maybe we could like give it to somebody or
we'll give it to someone. Yeah. We don't really need it.
Or maybe if we are having trouble with the boss, and we're like save scumming it, then yeah, might as well pop it in and give it a shot. All right. You leap from the stern deck and land near the foot of the stairs. Water is pouring into the Intrepid at a terrific rate, causing her to list heavily to starboard. "Abandon ship!" cries Devon, his strong voice carrying above the clangor of striking swords and dying men as he rushes past you, followed closely by 2 Curlundans. He urges you to save yourself before the ship goes down. To stay would be suicidal, and you quickly follow his lead. Turn to 110.
The deck heaves and shudders, and the metallic whir of the ironclad's engine rises to a deafening roar as it fights to extricate itself from the stern of the sinking Intrepid. Then a war horn blares, signalling to the enemy troops to break off their attack and return to their vessels. Everywhere you look, Drakarr marines and some lending crewmen are sheathing their weapons and scrambling towards the ship's rail. Clouds of acrid yellow smoke waft across the decks, adding to the chaos and confusion, as scores of men hurl themselves into the dark waves of the Calta Sea. Let's take a look at this. Woohoo! Look at them all just jumping and having a swim. This guy over here is having a great time. Whee!
Yeah, look at that. He's doing
10
the
out of 10.
wave wow, actually. You know,
See, this guy's form's good.
doing
This
the
guy's form's
wave.
shit. This guy's just stepping off the boat.
The last guy's scared. He's me. He's the guy that doesn't want to jump in.
Oh, this guy.
The first guy.
This guy.
No, him too. Yeah, him too. That's my next stance. I wouldn't be standing on the edge. That would be me, just hugging the shit out of it. But yeah, that is nice diving form for feet first.
Fantastic. Oh, look, we got a little barrel of something over here. We can float on it. Maybe it's a wine barrel we can drink as well.
Ooh, hell yes. Little get drunk on the way. Why not?
Jump! Shouts Devan. But what about the captain? You reply anxiously. Forget the captain, he says, pointing at the enemy craft. No one can help him now. The ironclad that rammed our stern completely demolished his cabin. No one could have lived through that. You pull yourself over the rail and wait for the smoke to thin before you leap. But the Intrepid lurches violently, and before you can stop yourself, you slip and fall headfirst into the swirling yellow smoke. Now we just pick a number. No modifiers. It's a 3.
Oh no, I don't like this. You hit the water with a mighty splash and sink like a stone beneath the icy cold waves. Yet the sudden shock serves to revive your battle-weary muscles, and quickly you strike out for the surface. You emerge from the depths beside the hull of the enemy ironclad, which is slowly pulling away from the wreck of the Intrepid. The heads of the rivets, which protrude all along its steel bow, offer a secure handhold for your numb fingers and enable you to drag yourself onto the shallow deck. You have barely caught your breath when a Drakarr sailor armed with a bro hook rushes forward and lunges at your head! Unless you possess the Magpie discipline of Hunt Mastery, reduce your combat skill by 2 points for the first round of this fight, owing to the surprise of your enemy attack.
And luckily we do have it, so we're good.
So I'm gonna say, let's just kill everybody on the ship and just take the ship there.
That's what I'm thinking. I think that's what we're doing. We're just taking their ship now.
No, that's what we started.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What?
Insta-kill.
What? Oh, a 0 is good.
Yeah, 0s are usually good. Except for when we're rolling for
forget.
luck. Then it's really
I
bad.
forget that a lot.
The force of your killing blow sends the Drakarr reeling backwards across the deck. He collides with another sailor who was coming to his aid and knocks him headlong into the sea. You brace yourself in case there is another waiting to rush at you, but the smoke from the vessel's funnel is so thick, and the other Drakarr are so preoccupied with hooking their marines out the water that they fail to notice you creeping towards the wheelhouse near the middle of the deck. A steel door swings open at your approach, and 3 hefty Drakarrim confront you on the threshold. You parry one's blade, take the second in the chest, and see the third spin sideways, trailing scarlet spray from the fatal wound you've dealt him. A quick thrust to the heart puts paid to the remaining sailor. He screams and falls through the doorway, tumbling down an iron staircase that descends into noise-filled darkness. If you have the Mankind Discipline of Divination, turn to 26. If you do not possess the skill, you can either descend the stairs, or you can slam shut the steel door and look for another place to hide from the Drakarr sailors on deck. So let's use Divination. It's not giving us a choice, really.
Alright, divination we go. Your Kai sense tingles, informs you that the stairs descend to the control cabin and crew's quarters, then onto the cargo sections which house huge tanks filled with sulfur, used as fuel for the engine of this strange craft. So our divination sense literally just told us, hey, so this is how the boat works. Okay, and this is the layout of it, just by looking into the stairs.
Yep.
Wow. Do you think you could do the same thing at a mall?
Yeah, you just step in the mall and like, oh yeah, look, the
Macy's is down there to the left.
Got a supermarket there, you got a shoe door on the far left over there. Got a video game store just on your right. You know, it's all good. It's all
Hot
good.
Topic is like a floor up.
Oh, if you want to get some food, there's a nice place up there on the 3rd floor. It's so specific.
The sudden appearance of the sailor's body had started a commotion, and the sound of heavy boots grating on metal warns you that more Drakarr are ascending the stairs to investigate what or who caused their comrade's death. To attempt to descend the stairs could prove fatal, so hurriedly you slam the door and look for another place to hide.
Okay then, 169. Stealthily, you move away from the door, raising the hood of your cape to hide your face. Beyond the wheelhouse, you see a large tube of steel, mounted horizontally on a circular platform. It is attended by 3 Drakarrim, who are busily loading a heavy, pear-shaped projectile into a chamber at the rear of the tube. A large wooden crate, filled with several more projectiles, lie open at their feet. Their captain, his rank denoted by the silver braid that decorates the sleeves of his battle jacket, is pointing to the sinking Intrepid and shouting excitedly, "Gaz, Muzor, okay? Ruzar, Shadajina, Gag."
Shadajina.
Jaina.
Jaina.
If you possess the mankind disciplines of invisibility and passersmanship, turn to 219. If you don't have both of them, 84. Luckily we got both, so we're good.
You understand enough of the Giak language to know that the enemy captain is preparing to hasten the Intrepid to the bottom of the sea. The metallic tube is the means by which the ironclads launch their fire missiles, one of which you have already encountered when running the blockade out of Toron. This one is loaded as being aimed directly at the waterline of the Intrepid. At first it strikes you as a wasteful attack. The Intrepid is sinking so fast that the fire upon it now seems to serve no practical purpose. Then you realize what the enemy commander is planning, and the thought of it makes your blood boil. Turn to page 113.
Devon and the remnants of his crew are clinging in desperation to the flotsam that surrounds their dying ship. Many are wounded, and their pitiful cries for help can clearly be heard aboard the Drakarrim ironclad. The enemy captain watches them through narrowed eyes, an evil sneer spreading slowly across his brutal face as he reaches for the mechanism that will launch a fire missile into their midst. If you have a bow and wish to fire at the captain to prevent him from murdering your fellow countrymen, turn to 131. If you do not have a bow or do not wish to fire at the captain, turn to 239. Nah, I'm good, fam. 239. Just kidding.
What is this? What kind of decision is this? Do you want to save people's lives or not?
Nah, good. Alright, 131. Let's shoot him.
The captain arches his back and screams in agony as your arrow drives deep into his spine. Immediately, 2 Drakarrim gunners rush forward to help him, but as soon as they realize that he is dead, they spin around to confront you. If you have at least 2 arrows and wish to silence these Drakarrim, turn to page 259.
Oh, hell
Choose
yes.
to draw a hand weapon and attack them before they can alert their ship. Yeah.
Nah, we're going Legolas.
We always shoot bows, don't we?
And we can shoot 2 arrows at once. Oh god. Don't even get me started. We're going full on Legolas.
My god. Oh my god.
Okay, your first arrow pierces a heart, but your second is deflected by a steel breastplate. Before you have a chance to fire again, the surviving gunner is upon you, his short sword unsheathed and ready to stab at your chest. Unless you possess the magnified discipline of Hunt Mastery, you must fight the first 2 rounds of combat unarmed. But I have Hunt Mastery, so I'm good.
Hell yeah. Oh, the numbers. Oh, make me feel good. Make me feel accomplished.
Yes, but we do have to win the round. We do have to win the combat in 3 rounds or less to get the better version.
Oh, well, it's only 25 endurance.
Because I'm thinking if we take too long to alert them, but we slice off his head immediately, so we're good. 272.
I mean, I feel like we took too long. I mean, we had to go through the whole process of unsheathing the sword and actually cutting off the head and actually
it was all one
giving it,
motion.
One good swipe.
Nah, it was all in one motion. We unsheathed the sword and sliced his head off at the same time.
Oh. With 3 rounds or less. Okay. The deck is shrouded in smoke, but the sound of heavy boots pounding steel plate warns you that a group of Drakarr Marines are approaching, drawn by their comrades' dying screams. Acting on instinct, you grab the rear of the cannon and revolve it on its mounting until it points directly along the deck. A dozen angry Marines emerge from the smoke and their faces freeze in terror when they find themselves staring into the muzzle of their own formidable weapon. Death to the Dark Lords! You cry as you pull the firing lever. That's the first time his voice actually, his tone actually matched what he usually says.
So maybe at this point he whispered it, "Death to the Dark Lords," and then pull the firing lever. He's the complete opposite.
He's just fuck you, death to the Dark Lords.
There is a loud bang, and a wave of heat rolls over you as the cannon spits its deadly missile at the advancing Drakarrim. It bores through their ranks and slams into the wheelhouse with shuddering force. Jets of yellow flame roar from a jagged hole, illuminating the grim remains of what a moment before were enemy Marines. Then the deck jumps up and slaps the soles of your feet. The missile has penetrated the ironclad's magazine, and, in an instant, the vessel is blown apart. The last thing you remember before darkness obliterates your senses is an eye-searing flash of white and scarlet fire. Well, we got a really good hit. So good it knocked us out.
I feel like if this were the first book, we would have just died there.
Yeah, pretty much.
But now we got plot armor, so
Not to mention all the other kinds of armor as well.
Oh yeah. Slowly, as though awakening from a dream, you return to consciousness. Through half-open eyes, you stare at a darkening sky and feel the cold waves of the Kaltaris lapping at your feet. Every inch of your body aches viciously, as it is as if your flesh were one vast bruise. But at once, you know that your body is intact and that, miraculously, you have escaped serious injury. You are lying in a cup-shaped piece of wreckage that was once part of the ironclad's bow. On the horizon is now the only one ship, the ironclad that first attacked the Intrepid. It is silhouetted against the wall of oily flame that marks the place where the sister craft exploded. The tide has carried you away from the carnage, and turning your head stiffly, you see that the shore lies less than 100 yards away. If you possess the Magnified display of hunt mastery and have reached a rank 5th battalion or higher, go to that page, which is what we do.
Less than a mile along the rock shore, you catch sight of something moving in the shadows. You use your advanced Kai skill to magnify your vision and are able to see a patrol of Giaks searching the water's edge for survivors of the battle. Some they help, carrying them on stretchers to their encampment perched high on an overhanging cliff. Others, presumably crew from the Intrepid, they stab repeatedly with their spears and leave for the sharks to claim. Forewarned by your skill, you begin to paddle away from the patrol, keen to avoid their chilling welcome.
Night has fallen swiftly, but there is a full moon by which to see. It pierces the darkness and bathes the landscape in its ghostly ashen light. The tide bears you swiftly towards a shingle beach. What the hell's a shingle beach?
I don't know.
That is littered with huge sea-smothered boulders. The crashing surf and the screech of predatory seabirds echo all along this barren coastline. It is an unwelcoming sound, cold and hostile, a fitting reflection of the land itself. 10 yards from the stony beach, you slip into thigh-deep foam and wade ashore. Although you can see no sign of enemy patrols, you keep your head low as you scurry up the beach, towards the base of the sheer cliff wall. By chance, you happen upon a narrow path that clings precariously to the side of a cliff face as it zigzags its way to the top. The climb is long and arduous, but by the time you reach the summit, the weather has taken a turn for the worse. An icy, rain-laden wind whips inland from the sea. Its chilling bite is accompanied by sheet lightning that illuminates the landscape before you. The blue-white flashes reveal a vast, dead world of pitted spurs and crags, where every tree is petrified and every rock looks like a dead man's skull. You pull your cape close about your shoulders and set off towards a ridge that is peppered with dark hollows, hoping that one of them will offer some shelter from the coming storm. Upon reaching the ridge, you discover that most of the hollows are merely patches of dark earth sandwiched between the honeycombed rock. The rain has become torrential, and you are beginning to abandon all hope of finding dry shelter, when suddenly your tracking instincts alert you to a cave-like opening at the far end of the ridge. You investigate to discover that it's indeed the entrance to a cave, one that is both wind and watertight, and, to your relief, quite empty. You are now very hungry and must eat a meal or lose 3 points. If you had the Magpie discipline of animal control and divination, go there. We'll just eat some cave moss.
Remember we didn't take animal control?
We don't have that.
Yeah, animal control was the one that we never took.
Oh no, we're gonna fight some beast, aren't we?
Yep. The fatigue of your ordeal is dulling your senses and making it increasingly difficult to keep your eyes open. So, using your backpack for a pillow, you settle down and slip readily into a deep sleep. However, it seems as though you've only just closed your eyes when a strange snickering sound stirs you to wakefulness. Crouching at the entrance to the cave, and silhouetted by the flashes of storm lightning, is a hulking creature with yellow cat-like eyes. It emits a hungry growl, and leaps at your prone body, hoping to crush you beneath its huge bulk. But your reflexes thwart its aim. You roll aside and jump to your feet as it hits the ground, which shudders beneath the vast stone weight. Quickly, the creature recovers and leaps once more, its hairy, lipless mouth opening in anticipation. We're fighting the
I wish there was a picture.
Yeah. There might be a picture on the other option, probably.
Maybe.
Owing to the speed of its attack, you are unable to make use of a bow. This creature is particularly susceptible to psychic attack, double all bonuses you would normally receive if using Mind Blast or Psy Surge during the combat.
Oh.
Doubling Mind Blast.
Oh, more numbers. More numbers. Yeah.
Oh, yes. 61, goddamn. Ugh, underwhelming.
Another 5. We got a lot of 5s this time around.
Hey, there we go.
Ooh.
And it's dead. 153.
The creature thrashes the last of its death throws and then falls silent. Its great bulk all but filling the entrance to the cave. The stench of spit, blood, and the greasy, dirt-encrusted hair that covers its torso makes your stomach churn. Yet, the Igor's body is serving a useful purpose. Not only is it keeping the icy cold wind and rain at bay, but any other creature wanting to attack you would have a great difficulty entering the cave. Confident you are unlikely to be disturbed again, you settle down to a much-needed sleep.
Nice. I'll be using its dead body as a door.
Yep. Probably use that as a pillow, too.
Yeah, we could rest ourselves against it. It's probably nice and blubbery. Dawn arrives, its hazy light barely brightening the banks of grey cloud that swirl above this bleak and desolate land. The rain has ceased, but the cold wind still blows strongly, bringing patches of frost that whiten the stony soil. You check your equipment and take stock of your provisions, before setting off towards the distant line of hills. You are aware that the dawn light has increased the chances of your being found by a Giak patrol, should you stay too long in any one place, especially so near to the shore. It is nearly noon when finally you reach the top of the ridge and stare down at the valley that lies beyond. It is a barren landscape of endless pits and crags, jagged boulders and scree. A rough, foot-worn track follows a stream that winds its way back into its source, deep among a towering range of mountains that dominates the horizon. Using your map and your kite tracking and hunting skills, you conclude that the mountains are the northwestern tip of the Drakarr range. Beyond them must lie the Gulf of Helenag and the Dark Lord naval base of Algazad. A feeling of dread overwhelms you as you realize that more than 300 miles of hostile terrain lie between you and Arnak, the stronghold where you are to rendezvous with the slave master. Silently, you stare at the forbidding mountains and rack your brains for a solution to your predicament. At length, you formulate a new plan of action.
A new beginning. We must make a fellowship.
With one person.
Yes. The track and stream wend their way towards a narrow gap in the Drakarr range. Fixedly, you stare at this gap. The longer you gaze, the more certain that you are that is a mountain pass. Allowing the path to continue through Argazad, you decide to press on and traverse the pass. Hopefully, the track will lead to a naval base where you could attempt to steal or stow away on some means of transport that will carry you to Arnak. The naval base must receive equipment from the Darkland City Fortress, and it is likely that Arnak is one such source of supply. It is nearly dusk when the stony path reaches the narrow, boulder-strewn approach to the pass. It has been a long and tiring trek, yet in spite of your fatigue, your senses warn you in good time of the danger that lies ahead. The pass is blocked by a wall and a stone watchtower, both guarded by Giak soldiers. Carefully, you leave the path and creep along the bank of the stream, remaining hidden from view as slowly you edge your way nearer the Giak outpost. An iron-branded gate in the center of the wall allows traffic to use the pass, but it is closed and guarded by sentries. As dusk turns into darkness, you continue to observe every detail of the outpost and the surrounding mountains in hope of finding a way through. Alright. If you wish to attempt to scale the wall, go to that page. If you decide to avoid the outpost to search for an alternate route across the mountains, go to that page.
This one I leave to you.
You leave to me? I'm very undecided on this. That's the problem. Because I'm not afraid of going in there, but I'm afraid that, we'll probably get seen trying to scale the damn walls. And yeah, we got to find some way to get transport there. But I mean, I guess we got to go for it. We need the transport. I mean, we can kill everybody in our way for the most part.
That's what I like to hear.
Maybe just
scale the wall it is.
We can kill everybody in our way.
After spending 2 hours scrutinizing every move the Giak guards make, you are sure that the two patrolling the wall follow the same routine with little variation. Once every 2 minutes exactly, their beat brings them both to a point near the watchtower at the middle of the wall, where they turn about before starting another circuit of patrol. You wait until one of the sentries reaches the end of the battlements, at a point where it abuts the sheer mountain wall, and when he turns to march back to the center, you make your move. Crouching low, you scurry to the foot of the wall and begin to climb, counting every passing second as you struggle to find handholds in the darkness. Pick a number from the random number table. If you possess Magna Kai Discipline of Invisibility, add 2. If you have Hunt Mastery and have reached the Kai rank of Primate or more, add 3. Alright, so it's very hard for us to fuck this one up.
So does that mean we get 5?
Yes. And we rolled a 3, so we're good. 227.
Hell yes. Your skill and dexterity makes scaling the wall an easy task. Fucking hell. Ego boost! You rolled high! You reach the parapet, climb over, and slip stealthily down the other side without being seen by either the guards in the watchtower or the 2 on the wall. Then, hiding behind the rocks and crags on the roadway, you escape through the pass undetected.
Nice.
Turn to 137.
Proper Splinter Cell that was.
Yep.
Guided by starlight, you trek westwards through the pass until the need for food and rest forces you to stop. A brief search uncovers a shallow fissure in the mountain wall, which offers a safe refuge for the night. And there you decide to grab a few hours sleep before continuing to Argazad. Eat a meal, or lose 3 endurance. Or I'll just eat a rat.
Now, we went into this outpost thinking we could get transport. Why are we not, getting transport?
No, the outpost is just guarding the passage through the mountain.
Oh. Okay.
It's not like a stable or anything. We can't steal a horse. It's too high profile.
Oh, but I want to steal a horse.
Maybe for our return.
Okay. Shortly after dawn, a howling wind awakens you from your dreamless slumber. It sweeps along the pass from the west, carrying it with the briny smell of the sea. Resolutely, you continue your trek, following the roadway through the pass until, at midday, you emerge from the mountains at a point that commands a clear view over the land beyond. There you stop and stare at an expanse of rocky terrain so fragmented that it might have been smashed by a giant hammer. It slopes down to the shores of a wide inlet, the Gulf of Helenag, where a line of darkland ironclads are steaming northward on their way to join the blockade from where you are. They appear no larger than tiny black specks dotting the steel-gray sea, but the clouds of yellow smoke pour from their funnels clearly identify them as enemy ships. The track continues, snaking southward along the barren landscape on its way to Argazad. For 3 hours, you tread its uneven surface until you arrive at what appears to be the ruins of an ancient tower. If you possess the Magna Kai Discipline of Divination and have attained a Kai rank of Mentor or higher, turn to that page, which is what we'll be doing.
As you stare at the ruins, a strange feeling of unease engulfs your body. At the same time, a nervous energy makes your skin tingle and fills your mind with disturbing images. Your highly developed mind skills are sensitive to the psychic residues of events that took place here 2,000 years ago. This land once belonged to a colony of creatures called the Nabora, a sentient race of winged men who evolved during the golden age of the Chianti. The city of Niboran, the core of their civilization, was located here on what was once a rich and fertile coastal plain. The demise of Chianti heralded the rise of the Dark Lords in northern Magnamund, and the beginning of the war of desecration in which the Nabora and many other races were exterminated. This ruined tower is all that remains of the wondrous city of Niboran, where, in the year MS 3250, the entire Nabora race were trapped and slaughtered by the Dark Lords of Helgadad. Don't know if there's anything here that we should keep a watch for. Maybe there'll be some winged people, or winged remains.
Maybe we can totally just talk to their ghosts and convince them to help us.
If only.
We have the summer sword.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't want to take it out now.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, speaking of
Alright.
which, let me unequip it. I'm going to put the Scarlet Warrior's sword up.
Okay. You deal with that. Okay. After searching the ruins and finding nothing of practical use, you continue your lonely trek along the Argazad Trail. For the most part, it runs parallel to the coast and is exposed to strong gusts of icy air that whip across the Gulf. You find yourself having to lean into these sleet-tinged winds in order to remain upright. It is a tiring ordeal, and as dusk begins to darken the sky, you welcome the chance to stop and rest. You have just located a windproof niche in the lee of a rocky crag and are about to settle down and rest when you notice something moving towards you along the trail. If you have the Mankind discipline of Hunt Mastery and are reached Kai rank first Valiant or higher, click there.
Using your telescopic vision, you focus on the approaching shape, and as it draws nearer, you are able to discern exactly what it is. You see a wagon laden with barrels and boxes, and drawn by 6 ox-like creatures. 2 Giaks are sitting on top of the wagon, the driver, who's lashing the team with a whip, and a guard, who appears to be fast asleep. Behind the wagon are 4 horsemen, Drakarr escorts, judging by their size and the cut of their black leather armour. Their route will take them close to where you are sheltering. Mindful of the Giak ability to see in the dark, you decide to stay in hiding and wait for them to pass.
Cloak and dagger. You squeeze into a space between the rocks and listen to the grind of the wagon's wheels on the rough stone trail as it draws steadily nearer. Then, a Drakarr voice cries out, Koga Okam Dag Nadu Heza. The sound stops abruptly. You strain your ears for an indication of what the enemy are doing, but all you can hear are muffled voices and the jingle bridles and bits. Then you hear the Drakarr escorts leave the trail and dismount close to where you are hiding. Your pulse quickens as you realize they are preparing to strike camp here overnight. Fortunately, because they are deep inside their own territory, the Drakarr do not bother to inspect their surroundings, and your presence goes undetected. You listen intently to their conversations, but discover little useful information except that they are from Argazad and are on their way to the outpost at the mouth of Drakarr Pass. After eating, they settle down to a session of gambling. They have been playing for only a few minutes when one of the Drakarr is accused of cheating. A violent argument breaks out and bloodshed is averted. Only when their bloodshed is averted only when their commander, a sergeant, steps in to break it up. He finds a fistful of cards wedged up the accused Drakarr's sleeve. Angrily, he denounces the cheat and orders him to return to Argazad at first light. The game is brought to a close, and as the disgruntled Drakarr get ready to sleep, a bold plan springs into your mind that could make your journey through the Darklands and your entry into Argazad much easier. Turn to page 284.
Patiently, you wait until the Drakarr and Giaks are snoring soundly. Then you leave your hiding place and slip away undetected. Your plan is to ambush the Drakarr who was caught cheating at dawn when he rides back to the Argazad alone. By discarding your cape and tunic in favour of his battle armour, it should be far easier to enter the naval base unnoticed, especially on horseback and with your face obscured by one of the grotesque battle masks that all Drakarr wear. 3 miles along the trail, you find the ideal place to launch your ambush, where the stony track passes between a cluster of huge rocks. There you lie in wait for the dawn, and with it, the arrival of your victim. While you wait, you must eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. But I won't, because I'm going to eat a bird that I saw fly above.
Was it a yummy bird?
No, it's just a seagull.
Oh. Wah wah. Shortly after a disappointing meal, after dawn has brightened the eastern horizon, the Drakarr warrior appears, riding his steed unhurriedly along the trail to Argazad. As he approaches, you get ready to launch your ambush. If you have a bow and wish to use it again, turn to page 99.
A bow?
What's this?
I've never
a
seen
bow,
such a
you
thing.
say?
How does one use such a thing? Silently, you draw an arrow to your lips and take aim at the Drakarr's throat. We're gonna shoot it at her mouth. What the fuck? At the point where a thin strip of unprotected skin is visible between the chin piece of his battle mask and the top of his hardened leather breastplate. A wound there should prove fatal, and yet leave untarnished the armor that you intend to wear in order to gain entry to Argazad. Pick a number from the random number table and add it to any bow skill bonuses to which you are entitled. which we have quite a lot of.
I'm entitled to like 10. Okay. So this should be easy.
2-1-2.
Your arrow strikes its target with chilling accuracy. The Drakarr throws his arms in the air and tumbles out of the saddle, killed instantly by your deadly shaft.
Excellent.
Turn to page 79.
You drag the dead Drakarr behind the rocks and divest the body of its armor. Although not a perfect fit, the leather battle jacket, leggings, and battle mask make you look convincingly like a Drakarr warrior. Apart from the armor, which you need not record on your action chart, you discover a number of items that may be of use to you on the road ahead. A sword, a dagger, a bow, a quiver. I think I'll have the quiver. Oh, you're not going to let me have it, you bastards. 4 arrows, exactly the amount that I need. And 30 kika, equivalent to 3 gold crowns. Oh wow, they're actually
money
kika separately from crowns. We might actually need kika in this country. If you decide to keep any of these items, remember to record them on your action chart. The dead warrior's horse is standing nearby, pawing the ground nervously. Using your innate Kai skill of animal kinship, not animal control because you don't have that one, you succeed in claiming him and making him obey your commands. Slowly, he approaches and allows you to climb into the saddle. Once you are sure that you have control, you flick your heels and head off at a canter along the trail to Argazad.
It is nearing an hour of sunset when you set eyes on the naval base of Argazad. It nestles in the curve of a cliff, a natural harbor protecting from the pounding waters of the Hellenag by a long promontory of rock. This wall-like barrier serves as a quay for more than 50 ironclad warships. The evil armada that is slowly strangling your country. Along the quay, huddled in the shadow of the surrounding cliffs, are hosts of grim gray buildings, newly constructed from iron and stone. Their greasy windows flare with an orange light of fires that roar within, warming the Drakarr's soldiers and marines who crew the Drakarr's Darklands fleet. Before entering the base, the trail joins a highway that approaches Argazad from the south. You stop to consult your map and discover that this road leads to the city fortress of Kag, the Arnak. You consider avoiding the naval base and riding to Arnak but soon dismiss the idea. The journey would take you across the Naugzgigza, one of the most desolate wastelands in all of Magdamon. Even if you could survive the heat, the dust, and the hellish creatures that dominate that gray desert, your mount would be sure to perish for lack of food and water. If you only possess the Kai discipline of hunting, not hunt mastery, you may no longer hunt for food as you venture deeper into Darklands. Well, a wall of stone surmounted by an unbroken coil of razor-sharp wire encircles the naval base. There is only one way through this perimeter wall, a gate that is guarded by a squad of Death Knights, the elite of Drakarr. Boldly you ride towards the gate, hoping to pass through unchallenged. But as you approach, the Death Knights take up their spears and stand shoulder to shoulder across the road. Tag Ogak Aga Kog Argazad Shad? Demands their sergeant gruffly. If you possess the Mandakai display of Sight Surge and have reached a Kai rank of Prince Valiant or higher, turn to 17. If you have the Mandakai display of Invisibility and have reached a Kai rank of Scion or higher, turn to page 167. If you possess neither of these skills or these ranks, turn to page 314.
Okay, so I doubt it matters either way. But Sight Surge is probably, we're going to attack their mind and probe into what they're thinking, and Invisibility we're going to try to disguise our way through. So it's up to you. Either one's fine.
Oh. I think...
Let me stop there. Don't tell me.
Oh, we do?
Because we're going to end.
Well, what I think you'll just have to see in the next episode.
So, we managed to make it to the Darklands. We managed to get past the checkpoint. We managed to commandeer a horse and some armor and disguised ourselves quite convincingly. But now we're going to challenge that disguise. We've come across a bunch of Death Knights. Are we going to use Psi Surge or invisibility to get past? Tune in next time in the next LP or in the next episode. But until then, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And before we leave, let's ask Karzie for his thoughts.
Those swords still look like they have a can opener on it, but let me see. Like so far, this is pretty good. I mean, we're fighting shit, we're killing shit, we're getting there. We're actually kind of there, right? Like we're at the place,
quite a few miles away.
Oh, so we're at a place before the place, but hey,
think so,
you
yeah.
know. But I don't know. I'm a little worried about this Death Knight just suddenly being all up in our business and asking questions.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I don't even know what he's saying, but hopefully we can figure it out as well.
Yeah.
But I think we'll be fine.
So?
Even if they do call us out, we'll just slice their heads off.
Yeah,
Like
we'll
it's
get
nothing.
through it somehow. Well, even with the power of safes coming.
Safe's coming, the ultimate power, aside from the Summer Sword, which we can't use. Alright, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you later. Take care.
Alright. Take care, everybody. Oh, bye-bye.